I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Have you heard of this one?
Man, I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times.
Have you?
I have.
Damn, you must really liked it to have never brought it up before after
It's fucking
watching it
good
so
movie.
many times.
It's a good movie, Tom.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. I guess good would be a word for it. I couldn't go with great
It is
just
good
because
and bad
yeah.
and ugly. It's got it all.
Mm. Yeah, it's just a little long.
Oh,
It
is it? Like how
turns
long?
out
How
that
long's the
they
movie, Tom?
like I think it was about 2 hours and 57 minutes,
Hmm?
and there's a good 30 minute-ish chunk that could have just been thrown out where they go to the Union soldier camp, and it's just the army leader or whatever getting drunk, and then they blow up a bridge. Like all that just could have been crumpled up and thrown on the cutting room floor and
Fuck.
made
Too
this
bad they didn't
move
put you
a
there
little
so
more.
you could say, "Hey, blah, 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 this, that," and it's, oh
I
man,
They would have understood me
yeah.
because I guess in this movie too, like everybody was speaking their own language. So if you had like, well, they didn't have Spanish actors. We'll get to that. But if you had like an Italian and American actor, the Italian guy would speak Italian and the American would speak English and shit. And like these Italian movies do, they just fucking overdub anything. Anyways, it starts out with Clint Eastwood and some Jewish guy playing a Mexican. They have a little scam going where the fake Mexican, he's wanted for rape and murder and all the good stuff. So Clint Eastwood turns him in, and as they're about to hang the guy, Clint Eastwood shoots him down like he's fucking dead shot or some shit. And then they ride off on a fucking horse and split the money, but things go south and he doesn't want to, Clint Eastwood that is, doesn't want to do this shit anymore. So he leaves the fake Mexican in a desert. The fake Mexican finds them, and then it's just a back and forth kind of cat and mouse thing. And then old Lee Van Cleef winds up, and there's gold buried in a what's it,
Old
a
angel
grave
eyes. You mean?
that they all want to find. Yeah, old anal eyes. Yeah, I mean, it was good. There's a lot of fucking like I don't want to say cliche shit because this is probably I mean, this is where all the fucking cliches came from, and Quentin Tarantino pretty much, made his career off of this fucking movie. But it's all right. I mean, it's worth watching. It's just fucking long and it just they love that music so much that they didn't fuck they just let the whole goddamn song play. And even if it's just people walking or riding a horse, they just let the whole 18-minute song play. So I would say, as far as Italian movies go, it's great. But if we're just judging on a regular movie scale, I would say it's good. It's worth a watch, but it's it's a little fucking long. Some of this shit definitely could have been cut and shit could have been trimmed, but worth a watch. I'll never watch it again. There's some cool shit in it, but there's some long shit. Like that whole thing with the fucking Union soldiers and blowing up the bridge. That just could have been you could have threw it the fuck away and we would have missed nothing. The story still would have flowed. It would have flowed better because they just kind of stopped there and say, "Oh, we got to get across that bridge." We didn't even need a bridge for them to get across. It was, I guess, they put it in there just so they would have some kind of Civil War element instead of it just being in the background. But even when they get stopped by the losing army, and they're just like, "Oh, you can't fucking get wounded or you can't fix your wounds here. You got to go to the church or whatever." Like that whole scene could have been fucking cut.
Shit,
Didn't
yeah, that
need
was
that
great
shit.
when they pull up and it's just like they start. Yeah, we're not the gray, baby. This is just dust. Yeah, that's awesome. Fucking great scene. Yeah,
Mm.
I get what you're saying, Tom. It's like it's close to 3 hours, but it's not 3 hours like Avengers Endgame, which is like over 3 hours. And that's a piece of shit. That's a huge piece of shit that you love. And that one was on your top 10 of something of whatever 3 years ago. Uh, but this movie,
Well, yeah, if you're
this
making a
movie is
top
great.
10 comic book
And
movies.
I'll watch this. No, it was on your top 10 of the year. I think it was like your number
Well, yeah, if that
two.
was that year, then what the hell else was out? And I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it was number
So, but
2.
this movie is fucking great. This movie it's an awesome movie. Yeah, it's long because it's got a long story to tell, Tom. You know,
It
but
doesn't really
unlike
have a long
unlike
story to tell.
Avengers, whatever the fuck, Avengers 3 hours. That's what we'll call that movie.
You know what
Uh,
it's called, Joe. You've seen all the movies. You know
yeah,
what it's called. You've seen
Avenger
more Marvel movies than I.
Avengers cocksuck is what we'll call it. And yeah,
That's
well,
the one with
shit.
China.
And not good. And you loved it, but you don't love this because you hate your fucking roots. You hate your Italian roots. And man, that's a sad thing. I mean, this is a good movie, Tom. This is a really, really good movie. And yeah, it's long, and you have very little patience. Like you youngsters, like don't like to pay attention to anything unless there's like fucking Robert Downey Jr. like in a helmet, like oh let me do this, and then you love it. But no,
I would have went with Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, and I'd be like, yeah, I did love that one. That was good shit.
but yeah, I agree with you. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a tremendous movie. It'll never be in my top 10 because it's a great movie, but you know it's no Excalibur, you know, because that's under like 2.5 hours. But yeah, you should keep your movies under 2 hours. I get it, but yeah, right, Skyler? He's a good old doggy. He's a good old doggy. You're a good old doggy.